Greetings from Toledo. I'm Dave Perdue, the Trademark Wahoo. I'd like to talk with you today about trademarks that are also last names, or as the trademark statute says, surnames. And so a trademark that is primarily merely a surname is not eligible for registration on the principal register in the Patent and Trademark Office unless the applicant can establish that she's used it long enough that it's no longer merely a surname, it's also acquired a trademark function to indicate the source of a product. Now, let's start with a coffee trademark. I do like my coffee. This is a bag of Tidkey's coffee beans, and in Toledo, the name Tidkey's is a family name, and in the case of Tidkey's, the surname of two brothers that opened a store in downtown Toledo called Tidkey's, and it became really one of the earlier department stores. They sold a lot of different things, from cheese to beds. They also sold coffee, and the story that I like most about Tidkey's coffee is that they had a coffee grinder and they positioned it near the air intake for the HVAC system. So when they were grinding coffee and the air conditioning or heating was on, the smell of fresh ground coffee would be circulated throughout the store, and sales of coffee at Tidkey's were very, very good. I work for a man who is introducing a Tidkey's line of coffee, and we filed an application to register Tidkey's. Registration was refused on the ground that it's not eligible for registration on the principal register because it is primarily merely a surname. The examining attorney found evidence that there are 142 people in the United States with the last name of Tidkey's. And that is one of the factors to be considered in determining whether a trademark is primarily merely a surname. I cheated and I have a list of the other factors. Another factor to be considered is whether or not someone associated with the applicant has the surname, which is in the application. And my favorite, whether the mark has the structure and pronunciation of a surname, because I don't know what that means. In the case of Tidkey's, the examining attorney said, well, it looks like a surname, it sounds like a surname. Another factor to be considered is, does the mark have any other meaning besides a surname? Is the mark being used in any way that would make it seem like it's not a surname? So we prepared a response to the refusal to register Tidkey's, and we pointed out that 142 people with the last name Tidkey's makes this a very extremely rare surname, and that speaks in favor of registrability. I punted on the does it look and sound like a surname, and I said, well, that's so subjective that that's kind of a neutral factor here. I pointed out that Tidkey's in Toledo had an association with the store, which is not a surname connection, and It does not have a recognized meaning other than a surname, except for the Tidkeys store. And the examining attorney went ahead and withdrew the refusal to register Tidkeys, and it's now in the process of being published for opposition. So, yay. Not so much with an outfit also involved in comestibles, namely Dickman, which wanted to register Dickman for Dickman's Pickles, and the examining attorney made a final refusal to register on surname grounds. The applicant appealed, and the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board affirmed the examining attorney and held that Dickman is primarily merely a surname. Over 5,000 people in the U.S. Have Dickman as a surname. It doesn't have a recognized meaning other than that. The applicant was named Dickman, so the factors weighed in favor of finding that it was primarily merely a surname. It's important to consider the surname significance of a trademark before making an application for register. That's it for today, and remember, you'll do better in Toledo.